Seeing your dad work so closely, today you see filmmakers working. What is the one thing that is to learn from JP Datta Saab?
His intention of making a certain film has been extremely pure. It was never commercial. It's always been कि जिनके लिए मैं ये film बना रहा हूँ वो लोग खुश हों. The intention of filmmaking.
Right.
That's what I take away from
Wow.
it, and I hope that others do too.
What were the initial discussions at home between y'all about Border 2?
You know, our late CDS, Chief of Defence Staff,
Yes,
General
of course,
Bipin
yes.
Rawat, who we lost unfortunately to the helicopter crash. He met us 3 months before his passing, and he spoke to us about 21, 22 stories of the forces that he really wanted us to make movies on.
Achha.
And I still remember Papa telling him, "Sir, I'm 71 years old, मैं कहाँ बनाऊँ?" And he said, "Datta साहब आप फिक्र मत करो, ये बना ले."
Okay.
And it's as if he spoke destiny out of his mouth that day. I had a partner in Bhushan Kumar who took the film and drove it to a level which I would have never been able to.
As someone who's seen Sunny Deol's journey also closely, what is it about him that works today? We are sitting in 2026 talking about him.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. People love him as much. His impact is as much.
We'll be sitting in 2056 also and talking the same thing, I'm sure.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yes.
But it's amazing, right?
I really think that the niyat, the intention with which that man comes on to set, how much he loves his craft, he loves what he does. All the actors do today, of course, but there is something about the conviction with which he does every scene, the conviction with which he plays every character. There's no way that it won't land into the audience's hearts.
On a Friday when it releases, are you the producer who's nervous? What was your Friday like?
I think anyone who's ever sat on this chair and told you that they are not nervous is lying. But for me, I was not only a nervous producer, but I was also a bag of nerves because I am like any other daughter. I think in any profession, when you are trying to carry forward a legacy of your parent, there's definitely a sense of nervousness, responsibility, and you just want to make sure you don't let them down.
Yeah, true.
So I was a bag of all these emotions on that Friday,
Nice.
and I'm glad that there's been acceptance.
Then comes the demand of the audience that Abhi, we want to see Border 3.
When we actually decided on Border 2, we had already committed to 3 with Bhushan Ji.
Right.
This is only a fact that Bhushan Ji and me know,
Yes.
and nobody else. Already the story had already been locked and liked,
Okay.
something that I had in mind, Binoy and me had in mind. And then we spoke to Bhushan Ji and he was very happy with the idea. Hi, this is Nidhi Dutta and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Nidhi, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो आपको. आपकी पिक्चर चली और ऐसी चली that it's mainly the love that you all got, bigger than which is bigger than any numbers that you all can get.
Absolutely.
But I will take you back. जब पहली border आई थी, how old were you? What all do you remember?
So I was about 7 years old when the film started and was being made. I still remember certain instances of being on set and visiting Papa. My mom, this is a very controversial thing to say actually, but I will say it. My mother used to not even care if we missed school. But she made sure that if it was my father's birthday or my grandfather's birthday, who was writing the dialogues. So Dadaji also was on set with Papa. And or my birthday, she would make sure that we reached Papa. We were always together as a family. So I always have memories from most of Papa's films and their sets, and Border was one of them. And so I had gone to visit them and celebrate my birthday there. So those memories, of course. But by the time the film released and I was a little older, year or so older, I have a very distinct memory of the award functions and all the awards that the film won.
Right.
And watching my dad go on stage every time and get all those awards, very special memories and one of my earliest memories of my life.
Wow. Memories that we have are watching it in the theatre, of course, with people and crying, laughing, being happy, all kinds of emotions. Seeing your dad work so closely, today you see filmmakers working. What is the one thing that is to learn from JP Datta Saab and filmmakers like him? क्या था उनमें? एक तो legendary फिल्में बनाते थे and कैसे बनाते थे? What is there that we should all learn from them?
So, I think if you speak to any filmmaker today, everyone has taken away something from dad's career. Everyone has something about the JP Datta way of filmmaking that they have instilled as makers. They feel that, this is what I love about your dad's films. That is what I love about your dad's films. For me, the one thing that I have taken away is his intention. His intention of making a certain film has been extremely pure. It was never commercial. It was never based on ye hit ho sakti सकती है कि नहीं हो सकती है. It's always been ये अच्छी फिल्म बन जाएगी. It's always been कि जिनके लिए मैं ये फिल्म बना रहा हूँ वो लोग खुश हों. So the intention of filmmaking, that's what I take away from him, and I hope that others do too. We've had films like LOC Kargil, which have been 4 hours long, which have released, and we've had our distributor partners and everybody coming to dad and requesting him that please aap kaat do hamare shows ja rahe hain, aap kaat do. And he's never listened, and he's always said, I don't know what face I will show to the families of the armed forces that I've based this film on. They are going to go to the theatre wanting to see their loved ones on screen, and I can't do that. So it was always, the decision was always passion and intention above commercial. And I think that's why the films land the way they do, and they do the business that they do, which equals to us into acceptance. Business numbers is the acceptance of the audience. So I think that intention, I hope that war filmmakers today, whoever attempts a war film, whether it's me, whether it's anybody else, I hope they take away that intention and they try and instill that my father has.
That will be so amazing. You know, what were the initial discussions at home between y'all about Border 2?
So actually Border 2 happened because I've maintained this in other places that I've spoken. You know, our late CDS, Chief of Defence Staff, General Bipin Rawat, who we lost unfortunately to the helicopter crash 3 months before. So I had met him when Paltan was being made, and with Dad, and he was the Chief of Army at that time. So when he became CDS, the first CDS of India, he met us 3 months before his passing, and he spoke to us about 21, 22 stories of the forces that he really wanted us to make movies on. And I still remember Papa telling him, sir, I'm 71 years old, मैं कहाँ बनाऊंगा? And he said, Datta Saab, aap fikr mat karo, ye bana legi. And it's as if he spoke destiny out of his mouth that day. At that point, I was producing Gurchadi with Bhushan ji for Binoy's directorial, my husband's first film as a director. So I did not really do anything about it. And 3 months later, of course, General Rawat left us. And that was a responsibility. It was in the back of my head. Once Gurchadi released, of course, I was in that space of it. The film completed. And I knew that, okay, now that Binoy's film was done, I knew I had to figure out what next for Papa's company, our company. And that's when I revisited these stories. And of course, with General Rawat going, it was like a responsibility in the back of my head subconsciously कि ये करना है अब, you know, वो बोल के चले गए, ये करना है. So when I went through the 22 stories, is when I came across 3-4 of these incidents. And when I realized that they were from the 71 war, that's when you realize and say, okay, this is 71. Today the audience, because of the kind of success and the kind of cult that Border became, the first one, they believe that the Battle of Longewala was the 1971 war. We have forgotten that it is actually one of the biggest wars that India ever fought. I am someone who is JP Datta's daughter. I know the armed forces so closely. But even I didn't know that the 71 war was the first time that the Indian Army, Navy, Air Force came together to fight a war. The first time our three forces fought a war was 71. Again, something that's so important for my history, but people don't know. So there was an opportunity there, and I didn't know how we were going to bring these stories together, because of course in reality they were not connected, and I didn't know how to do that, weave it together. And then of course one starts to think, okay, should I reach out to writers, you know, who can I speak to, what can I do? And at that point, I just thought to myself, okay, you know what, maybe I can try and put a synopsis together, or how can I connect them? Well, how can I connect them was the 22nd of January last year, when I sat and put on my voice notes and sat in my living room, and I got up from that sofa at 8 in the evening, and I had the story. And I had weaved them all together in a day. So I think that cannot be anything less of a blessing from above. It happened, and I guess the rest is history.
Wow. And then, you know, then again, the challenge is to get a director with the similar intent. What was that discussion about?
I think the first challenge is to get a partner with the similar intent, which is the biggest challenge today. Because the visionary partner studio that comes on board is going to either drive it with that much passion, or at least fuel your passion. I did not have a company that fueled my passion. I did not have a company that drove the film with me. I had a partner in Bhushan Kumar who took the film and drove it to a level which I would have never been able to. He has literally...
He has the bandwidth to do it.
He has his not only bandwidth. I don't think personally I ever thought that he would give so much of himself to the film as much as he has. He has literally made sure we hit the right notes emotionally. He sat on everything creatively with us. He sat on everything during the shoot, after the shoot, before the shoot. He's been a one-man show for this film. And so yes, to get the right partner was the first biggest challenge. But somehow my father was very clear it had to be Bhushanji. So and I had just finished Ghurchadi with him. So it was, for me, it was a homecoming. But I'm beyond blessed to have the partners that I have on this film.
Wow. Yeah, so, and then the discussion about the director.
Yes. And then Anurag, of course, had to happen. And I think some films choose, right? The film chooses the director. Sometimes the film chooses the director. So I think Border 2 had decided that they would get Anurag. And I think he was hesitant at first when Bhushanji had spoken to him. And then he was happy to do it. And I guess, it's happened.
And then, now that we see Border 2, this is just the perfect casting. But before, if I take you back, what were the initial discussions? Who should be there from the earlier Border? Who should not be there? Who should be from the newer generation joining, like Varun and all? They were so amazing in this Diljit.
So there was never a discussion of who's going to be there from the first Border, because they couldn't have happened. For the simple reason that we have... like I said, it's the same dates. It's the same time. It's the same days, to be honest. So it's very difficult to have people from the same same film. If you watch the movie, you will see that when Hoshiar Singh gets the news of his friends dying from the radio, usi waqt the radio instructor is also talking about Dharamveer and Bhairav Singh. So we are trying to tell the audience and explain to them that this is happening during the same course of time. So you couldn't have taken those faces. At the same time, when we thought of Fateh Singh Kilair, there couldn't have been anyone but Sunny Uncle that could have embodied that character, because it was very similar to Major Kuldeep Singh Chandpuri's aura, and I also don't think there can be a Border without him. So it worked out in that way. And like I say, and if you ask Varun or if you ask the actors, they'll tell you, Diljit, Ahan, that dad wrote them a note on the first day of shoot. And in that note, he wrote to them that something that he believes, which is that we don't cast films like these. It's the heroes sitting in heaven that choose who get to walk in their footsteps. So I guess they were all meant to be.
As someone who's seen Sunny Deol's journey also closely, what is it about him that works today? We are sitting in 2026 talking about him. Nothing has changed. People love him as much. His impact is as much.
We'll be sitting in 2056 also and talking the same thing, I'm sure.
Well, fingers crossed. But it's amazing, right? Like, what is it? What do you think connects with the audience so well?
Intention.
Is also the same thing.
It's the same
Ultimately, it's that.
I really think that the niyat, the intention with which that man comes on to set, how much he loves his craft. He loves what he does. All the actors do today, of course. But there is something about the conviction with which he does every scene, the conviction with which he plays every character. There's no way that it won't land into the audience's hearts.
And even all three of them, they got so much love. Like, personally, when you watch, any performance surprised you?
I think Varun.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I was very clear and I was very sure, and we all, Bhushanji, me, Anurag, we were very sure that Varun is going to, he's a fabulous actor. But the way he embodied and became Hoshiar Singh is something that even for us, it was like, okay, oh my God, like he's taken it to a different level. The way for a boy born and brought up in Bombay City to kind of adapt to that Haryanvi dialect, the way he did, the action, the way he did all the action himself, the way he did it, it was brilliant. It was beyond brilliant. We used things which were real. We have Major Hoshiar Singh's son, who of course is also a part of the army. You must have seen him in one of our promotions. And he had of course told me in the beginning of the movie that Major Hoshiar Singh had never worn the helmet during the action in Jarpal. So we kept that true to life, and he did the entire action, and he's done it beautifully.
Right. So, so much is about, of course, the men who fought the war, but also about the families.
Yes.
Your actresses were wonderful. Sonam, Medha, Anya, everybody, some roles were bigger, some were smaller, but they were such important roles that even the smallest role, I felt made an impact. What did you think of all the women who were in the movie?
Well, they've just been brilliant. They've been brilliant. It's so important that we have. Also, I'm so happy because Anya and Medha both again come from armed forces backgrounds, and so it's very heartening to see the kind of reactions that people have had and connections people have had to the forces families in the film, because that's who we also start our journey with. When we decide to make a film, the first thing we do is go and meet the forces of whichever force, Army, Navy, Air Force. You first ask them कि हमको family से connect करा. We go meet their families, we meet them, we sit with them, we understand the character of the hero when he's not in uniform. You know, what was he like as a father or as a son or as a brother? So we understand that. And then there is a certain level of faith that they have put in you because you've spent that time with them. So you're then portraying them, right? Also on screen as the backstories. So to see it come off correctly, performed correctly, and then reach the audience's hearts, it's a great satisfactory feeling that you've done right, you know.
Right. On a Friday when it releases, are you the producer who's nervous? What was your Friday like?
I think anyone who's ever sat on this chair and told you that they are not nervous is lying. I was, but for me, I was not only a nervous producer, but I was also a bag of nerves because I am like any other daughter. Any dentist's daughter who first time goes in for a dental surgery, or any doctor's son or daughter who you know goes in for their first surgery. That feeling it's the same. I think in any profession, when you are trying to carry forward a legacy of your parent, there's definitely a sense of nervousness, responsibility, and you just want to make sure you don't let them down. So I was a bag of all these emotions on that Friday, and I'm glad that there's been acceptance.
What was the discussion at home as a family once it was out, it was received well, लोगों को अच्छी लग रही थी, reviews अच्छा है, numbers अच्छा है, घर पे क्या discussion हुआ?
So when the film was accepted the way it was and we got the first reviews coming in, I remember going to Papa and showing him the first reviews, and I said, Dad, this is what it is. And he was just quiet and he just smiled and he looked up at me and he just nodded his head. Of course, my mother's reactions are still pouring in. She's a full waterworks are still going on, so she's very emotional. And I think they are just honestly feeling like two very proud parents at the moment. And there's a sense of relief and happiness, and I'm just so glad I could show them this day.
And when they watched it, what was that like? The first screening?
Crying. Just crying and loved it, and you've made us so proud, you've made us so proud, and honestly that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Amazing. That is, and you know, for any child to hear this from the parents, it's the biggest thing. Then comes the demand of the audience that Abhi, we want to see Border 3. This will never get over.
So this is actually a demand that was already taken care of about 2 years ago. Because when we actually decided on Border 2, we had already committed to 3 with Bhushan ji. This is only a fact that Bhushan ji and me knew, and nobody else. And then certain things have just in the last couple of days, it was, I think, a lot of people after the release asked the question. So I think that's why Bhushan ji and we decided to announce it. But it's something that is already, the story had already been locked and liked. Something that I had in mind, Binoy and me had in mind. And then we spoke to Bhushan ji and he was very happy with the idea. So it's already on the cards, it's already in the works. And as it develops, we will
but
keep you
Border
posted.
1 और 2 में बहुत साल लग गए इसमें.
वो कहानियाँ जो थी वो obviously हमारे पास आई नहीं थी, which is why it happened. And also I believe in one thing, which is a thought I've come to my head, and it's just a random thing, but it's an understanding for me, I think, as a maker. You know, everyone has spoken about the VFX.
Yes, yeah.
I believe the VFX has been my biggest plus point, because I'm so glad this film took 29 years in the making, because if it hadn't taken this long, I wouldn't have had the technology to show the Navy.
Yeah, true.
My father didn't have VFX. He didn't have that technology. I would not have shown you what I showed you in this film if it wasn't the kind of effects and the kind of studios we have today. So I'm glad it took this long, because I'm glad we could make a film of this scale, and we could tell you stories of, like Ahan says in the film, in Paniyon mein hum Hindustan ka border hain, which is a fact. It's not only on land but also in the air and in the water that we have a certain boundary as a country, and that's constantly trying to be broken into, and there are men who are sitting there trying to guard it. How would I have brought these stories to life if I didn't have that technology? So I'm glad it's taken that long. Now it won't take that long because I don't need anything else.
Right. Are you someone who takes to technology easily? Like, now next everybody is talking about AI is coming and how filmmakers are using it is incredible.
No, I think the technology that we've also used is obviously to use it to keep it as real as possible.
Right.
If we all go the AI way, and of course that is the future, to make life easier and all of that. But I think what is real will always remain.
Right. Great. Thank you so much. Can't wait to now see what you do next.
Thank you.
So thank you and all the best. And thank you for giving us this film.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Thank you so much.